Hey guys, this is John here in Los Angeles with the Alpha Channel update for Thursday, September 5th, 2024. Today we have Descender number 6 by Jeff Lemire and Dustin Nguyen. And I have to admit, this comic is having a hard time. This comic gets a lot of praise from the industry, and I don't know how much of it is bought praise, how much of it is sincere praise, or how much of it is praise for someone who didn't take risks. Jeff Lemire is not taking risks with this one. Dustin is. Dustin's drawing his heart out, but the writer, I'm not impressed. There is a character way down here in this panel. You can see he's wandering through the desert. And it's not, well, here he is, a lizard, out and about in the desert of Ostrandia, I believe is the name of this place. And he is greeting this ship that is landing right here with, he's actually greeting some of his friends. And then here comes down the ship with Jin Kwan, who is a university student, and his professor. And they are going to investigate. They're meeting these dignitaries and they're going to investigate an archaeological dig on this desert planet where they found a robot. And no one believes it's the inhabitants of this planet because they didn't have that level of technology. But here they are descending underground to find the remains of a robot. This would be like finding a robot in ancient Egypt, right? I mean, could you imagine? And then hooking it up and having it power up, which is exactly what they do. So, Dr. Kwan and his professor, this is his professor, the older dude with the bald guy with the goatee, who looks like Robert A421 from Grey, Robert J. Dimitri. So, they are powering up the robot. And as soon as it comes online, it starts telling them about all the horrible terrors that are coming to attack them. And that now it's online, it's transmitting, and that they're going to find him, and that it's terrified. And, basically the worst things you could want a robot to say. And so the professor shuts the power down. And the professor and Jin Kwan have an argument over what to do with this robot. Jin Kwan says, go all the way. No one's ever seen anything like this. But the professor, being a little older, he's been around a little more. He's not so eager to prove himself. He's a little more patient. So Jin Kwan, now we're back in the torture chamber where Jin Kwan this is all flashback. The first half of this issue's flashback. And he's telling his torturers that he didn't create Tim 21, that he stole the designs. And this is where he stole them from. And these designs went on to create the little kid in the middle panel here, who is a robot. And now here we have, right here, this boom. That is a wall being blown out. And a new group of interlopers. See, this is the thing. If you have a microcosm in science fiction, you constantly end up bringing in new characters to explore the world. And if you kill off those characters or in some other way separate them from the main cast, you're stuck in that same microcosm you started out with. If you start off in a spaceship with 4 people, and after every scene they meet new people, those new people get killed, you constantly go through this new thing of introducing new characters. So the original scavengers from the first issue are gone. A whole bunch of other people are gone. It's kind of a bigger story. To me, honestly, this is the danger of writing and giving the work to the artist without knowing what the next chapter is or what the next 10 chapters are or what the finished product looks like. This is a dangerous game. This is a gamble. And in the end, the only person who loses are the audience when they don't get a good product. You can rely on the artwork to carry the story, but you shouldn't. the artwork should, how do I say this? The artwork is pretty paintings on a story, but the story has to be awesome first. The story has to be worth an artist dedicating this kind of time and effort to. And if you don't have a story that justifies an artist putting forth this much time and effort, you're doing them a disservice. How many writers spend the same length of time on their work that the artist does? And if you're not doing that as a writer, then you're fucking the artist over. And you're probably getting paid commensurately or, reflectively. So these bad guys who just broke in, they have their own Tim 22. And so he is an undamaged bot. He hasn't been shot through the torso or had his ankle mauled by a sort of giant alien Rottweiler. But this is a good book. It's really well drawn. I feel like they got approval off of the pitch, and then we're suddenly behind the deadline to start turning in work. Does that make sense? Look, it's a lot more dangerous if you have a completed comic and you go to a comic book publisher. They're probably going to offer you a lot less than they would if you pitched it to them without it being complete. Simply because they can, because they know the work's done and they know that they can just lowball you. So this is a newer book called Headloper. It's a commercial for a book called Headloper. And this Viking is walking around with this blue decapitated head that can talk. And he's sleeping against a standing stone, and this weird monster shows up to try and eat him, and he kills it. And he sets out the new head as a warning to anyone who might be following them. Adventure Time art for a Viking story, I guess. Okay, I never watched Adventure Time. Obviously, I know what it is because I can reference it. But maybe this story doesn't justify Mark Silvestri's efforts. If you're a writer, that's how you've got to think. Is my story worthy of art by J. Scott Campbell? Is my story worthy of art by someone like John Buscema? You really have to think about these things. That's what I think about, anyhow. So this is Descender number 6, September 5th. And today we have a Yggdrasil card. Here's the box right side up. Yesterday I had to delete it because I held it like this. So here's the box for Yggdrasil. Here's the card for today, Valley. Reconciliation. Although I don't know that I would want to be part of any reconciliation that involved this character. That is a fat, weak musician who has never done anything except play his lute or his horn or whatever he's doing. Reconciliation, Valley. I guess even Vikings had fat, lazy people. You wouldn't think so, right? Like American Indians, they were all buff, like warriors, the ninjas of the plains. Same with Vikings and ninja, samurai. You don't like thinking of degenerates in those roles. So, what else do I have to talk about? I would like to promote my audiobooks, my science fiction, here on YouTube. 13 Hours of Legacy of a Mad Scientist, where Ashley and her younger brother Jeffrey get chased around by corrupt government agents who want to seize her father's legacy to her, a black metal amplifier called the Micronics, a brain-to-internet computer interface. And then we have the legend of Ashley Fox, where Ashley and Jeffrey are a bit older, and they have to unite a bunch of gangs in the local orphanage against the serial killer administration running the building. These are here for you guys, 26 hours of free audiobooks here on YouTube, on this channel. There will be links at the end, or you can just click on my, channel name, and it'll show you the playlists. We also have a comic book here in the description for you guys, Ashley Fox, Last Valkyrie, where she rescues a bunch of kids who are being Pizzagated by corrupt billionaires. Check it out. It's here, free in the description. And not too much else is going on. Making progress with crypto. Hopefully, it would be nice to be able to someday do an animation, like an animated series. That would be sick. I think we have to do a comic book first. I think we have to do a video game first. But it would be awesome to get to the point where we could budget an animated series. And then I would totally pay to do it up front, pay all the artists, and then see what we could sell it for. And if no one gives us a good deal for it, sell it on our own. I don't care. That's how skateboarding companies did it for years, and they sold their VHSs. So I'm sure we could do something like that. Anyhow, yeah, I don't have a lot to say today. Hope you guys are having an awesome September, and I will see you tomorrow.